and welcome to the Interview with the Vampire Superfan Roundtable. My name is Ray Gore, and I have here with me my co-host Black Girl Talk Fangs, and otherwise known as BGTF, and Christina LaRusso from Vampire Insider. And today we have with us here Andrew Van Wilp, who plays the vampire Roman in Interview with the Vampire Season 2. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I want to just do well, first, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what brought you to the Anne Rice's Immortal Universe?
Of course, yes. So first off, I want to thank you guys for actually having me on this. It's been a huge pleasure being able to like kind of talk on the internet and actually get to see you in person now. So, well, kind of in person. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, I guess I'll start off with myself. I'm Andrew Van Wilp. I'm originally from Arkansas, but I've been living in the Czech Republic for the past 7 years now. And yeah, I got into acting here actually. I started about 3 years ago. I came from a background in stand-up comedy and then kind of worked into acting and spent all of COVID kind of self-teaching myself and doing workshops and actually did Natalie Portman's masterclass, which I totally recommend. Even if you're not an actor, it's just great to watch her do her thing. And yeah, and then I started acting. I did a few TV series before this, and then got Interview with the Vampire. And yeah.
Did you
Woo.
know anybody? Did you have any connections, or did you just see the cast open up, or did you just see the openings and went, okay, sure, that sounds interesting?
Well, Maya Kvetny here, she's the local casting director, sent out all the roles. And funny enough, I actually auditioned for American Soldier, German Soldier, and Russian Soldier.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I did all these three weird accents, and apparently Roland was like, "Okay, put him forward for Romain and see if he can do the French accent since he already did three other ones." And I didn't realize the extent of the role because the previous ones were like one-liners, maybe one day. And then when I realized what was happening, I kind of freaked out. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in a whole TV series. Oh
That's
God.
so exciting.
Um,
I'm so glad you got the part.
yeah, me too. And like really, it's just a testament to, I think, there's never a small role. You never know where it's going to lead.
You never
And
know.
that's
Yeah.
kind of how I got on the path of Romaine.
That's so cool. And were you familiar with Anne Rice's work before?
I was. So yeah, actually, I don't know if this is just like a queer kid thing, but I was like obsessed with vampires when I was
Oh,
younger.
yeah, that's the universal experience. Queer kid,
Rite of passage.
queer kid here too. Yeah, that's the universal experience of obsession with vampires.
Yeah, I'm like I think it's just like I don't know. It's in the DNA or something. I don't know. Or we accept the dark gift as
What
well.
was it, the movie or what, or was it the book?
It was originally the movie.
Okay.
And the funny thing is when I was growing up, I was like going as like vampires for Halloween and stuff. I went for like consecutively for like 5 years. I
Oh yeah.
think because maybe I was just lazy and I was like, I already have a costume. I'm gonna go with this. And I love vampires, so why not? And I need to find some photos of that. Well, maybe I have to put that on Instagram later.
Yeah,
Um,
it's definitely a universal experience. I also did vampire because it's like I already have the costume. You are the costume.
I got the fangs. Like, what's not to love, you know?
Exactly. So, I don't know if you are aware of this, and I mean this with all the love in the world. So, your character Roman had a couple of names in the fandom. It was either tax accountant vampire or or mailman vampire. And and again, I mean this with all the love in the world. Well, maybe not to Roman
That's
since he
so
took part
funny.
in the in the trial because he kind of seems like I just was curious, like when you were making this character, because we've heard from some of the other Theatrice folks that you all kind of built up your own little backstories, and he kind of
Mhm.
seems like the cousin Greg of the group, where he's just kind of the awkward, like he's very business attire. He's
Yeah.
It's
all business.
And that really, I mean, luckily, like Carol and Lex like really helped me kind of cultivate that with the costume. I think that was like kind of my first like I mean, I did all the character prep for it and I got like a nice like description of my character, but the costume really helped inform that a lot more, I think, because the weird part is like I don't know if you could notice in the costume though, he was very put together and like uptight and like
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
nervous,
100%. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
but
a
he had
that
like tattered clothing and like stains and like just like holes everywhere. So I'm like he was like a controlled mess, and I kind of just like I identify with that anyway. So I was like, okay, perfect.
Same.
every theater has that one like, okay, we mean business here because yeah, I mean, you displayed that really well. He was called the tax accountant vampire on Twitter. So I think it was a little bit of the what's it called, the mutton chops too. I think that
Yeah,
really kind
Yeah.
of put it together too.
Sideburn.
So
that's and wearing those for a year, that was a very interesting I couldn't take Romain off. He was just with me all the time.
Oh,
so what is his backstory? Do you, or is it just
yeah.
very simple, like French guy got turned one day, or do you have one made up?
I have a huge, like, I went way too overboard with it. I have like a document that's like 50 pages long that I'm not
Oh,
gonna
wow.
bother
Wow.
with. I'm sorry.
Yes,
The
no,
Romaine
no, don't
Chronicles.
be, bring it, bring it.
Yeah, no,
But
you gotta tell us a little bit at least.
Yeah, a brief,
I,
just a brief summary. Yeah.
I'll give you a brief summary. So
Okay.
basically, Romain, he is a part of Santino. He was brought in actually in 1897. And yeah, was brought in and is reporting obviously back to them about the Children of Darkness, but he's covering it up. So he's writing
Wow.
letters back
Oh,
home, and they're probably not being read, and he's like taken it upon himself to really guard Armand.
oh,
Um,
Oh,
wow.
but
Okay.
This,
yeah, he's like,
I
I
love
mean, that's
that.
where
I love that.
the tax vampire comes in, and he's like, has taken upon himself to like, I'm going to be the right-hand man, and I'm going to protect the coven,
wow.
in my
Oh, wow.
anally retentive ways, and I like
That's
love
so
that.
that's so fascinating. Also, thank you for the Santino name drop. That's
Reference.
Yes.
Absolutely.
that is
Yes.
that's very juicy.
Empire Armand.
That is
And thank you for protecting Armand, because as an Armand fan, he's a perfect angel. He has made mistakes, but I appreciate
Okay.
that someone was looking
Okay.
out for him.
Yeah, okay, that's a
Okay.
character, yes. Like from the how it's playing out, I'm like, oh God, yeah. So
that is that's so interesting. Wow, there's so I really hope I can talk to every single theatricist, because now I'm getting like there's this entire lore I don't even like we don't even know about. Wow, that's really cool though. Thank you. And so what so for the actual filming, I want the shooting, I want to know, do you have any like what's some of your favorite set stories from Prague? Well, you're very familiar with Prague, I'm guessing, because you live in the Czech
yeah.
Republic. So was it interesting to be filming with a lot of people who didn't really know the area very well? Or I just want to know like what that experience was like.
So it was funny enough because I mean, being like the stage manager, a lot of us or a lot of the coven were from abroad. So I kind of weirdly took on the role. Like I started the WhatsApp group for everyone and was like giving recommendations and that. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play the character also in like offset as well. So it was really nice to have like everyone come in, and we were still really connected through that as well. So it's like, yeah, I felt really lucky to have like all these amazing talents come from all over and come into Prague and let's create this beautiful thing. But to answer your question about my favorite set story, it was actually because I didn't get to do the murder mansion. Romain was doing taxes, probably. Um, but my favorite was actually Claudia's initiation.
Okay.
And the Coven have nicknamed this the Fang Bang.
Aptly titled.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Because
Yeah.
it was so fun. Like we're all like got super into it, and Levin was really like getting us all, making us breathe in unison and all this other stuff. But then we had to do the fangs and biting our wrists. And keeping in mind this is like still out of COVID, like kind of post-COVID, so we're like spitting and like sucking on each other's wrists and like
Very,
fangs are
yeah.
popping out and like we all like we're in it and then we cut and we're like, like,
I was wondering about that. Is there like a sanitization process before, or do you just go for it?
we just went for it and like I mean they tested us so we were like we knew we
Oh
were
yeah, of
fine. It was just like
course.
gross like to slobber with everyone and like I think we had the realization afterwards we're like I just like swap spit with everyone here but that's fine we're all friends
Yeah.
now.
It's the actor's life, right?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, whatever.
Was there did you have what was there a certain any actors that inspired you while you were on set? Um I'm curious.
Oh my God, all of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to play like diplomatic here, but really like an incredible casting from Kate Rhodes James and Maya Kvetny and Rollin as well. Like they really cultivated a group of people that would like work so beautifully together. And like we all like really truly I know everyone has talked about this how much we love each other, but it's like it's very, very apparent. And I'm sure it shows up in the series as well, but like offset as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was curious because like I'm glad you didn't bring up the murder mansion again because we hear a lot of stories about it and how cool. And I'm sorry you weren't there. Because
That's
I heard
okay. Romain doing his business. It's fine.
he had better things to do. But I'm really curious about the dinner scene with Armand and Santiago and Louis. I'd really like to know about filming that scene. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
It was really fun. It was really difficult in the aspect that we had to smoke so many fake cigarettes. But other than that, like it was really great to kind of banter like back and forth, especially like with me and Chris. Like it was nice to have some little like tension between us as well. And like it was funny because I was sitting next to Assad and I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to like kind of have a crush on you. And he's like, let me light your cigarette. And we're like playing around with it. It was so fun.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Armand has really become the it girl, it seems, because Santiago's got a crush on him, Lou's got a crush on him.
Everyone's got a crush on him. And
Everybody.
like,
How do you not?
obviously, look at him. He's beautiful.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
come on.
Like, how do you
That's
not?
true.
How do you not? Well, that's really cool. I thank you for telling. Did it take that long to film?
It took the whole day. Yeah, it took
Oh,
us because I mean they had to get every shot and but everyone was incredibly patient as well. And the extras they were like fantastic because I mean there's obviously the scene where they have to freeze
Mhm. Yeah.
and I like blown away with the professionalism and like I don't know if you could tell in the crowd they made it very queer inclusive as well. They were coupling up people I was like this is what vampires are about. Fair
Yeah.
culture. Come on.
Yes. I really love and I know I'm sorry you weren't in or maybe you were in the scene where they kidnapped Claudia and Madeline. Were you in
I
that
was
scene?
not.
Okay.
I was just shoving Claudia in the box.
Oh,
Yes, we saw that.
Oof.
We saw that.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. Shame
Shame on
on
you.
It
you.
was actually so stressful because they were doing like stunts in this case, and I'm like, I really don't want to hurt Delaney because I'm like
Oh.
slamming the thing down, and it was like, but luckily we have great stunt coordinators, so everything was fine. But I was just like, oh my God.
She I think it was mentioned in one of the behind the scenes episode that she really enjoys doing stunts. So I think she has forgiven you.
She was a
Hopefully.
trooper. Oh my God. Yeah, she's like was incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love hearing about how, I mean, it seems that with all these stunts and all these different, like really long, drawn out scenes, that there's a lot of trust that goes into acting, especially in big groups like this, that you basically all have to trust each other. Is that right?
It's true, and I think Chris said it in the last roundtable that like the us getting together and doing the rehearsals like really bonded us together, and that trust I mean is so necessary, especially when you're doing something where you have to like jump off stuff, throw people in boxes, and like spit fake blood on each other, and yeah, like it was it was done very well. I would
Awesome.
say.
That's awesome. And did you have what was your favorite episode of the season? I'm curious. And who was your favorite character?
I'm gonna answer this diplomatically as well.
Okay.
don't have I'm not going to say my favorite character because I don't really have one, but I will say the one that made me laugh the most was Estelle. Anytime she did anything, I was like cracking up, and it was actually really hard working with Esme because I was like, I knew she was going to do something hilarious, and I was going to have to hide the laughter. So I'll preference that. Even when she died, the scream of her like blowing up, I thought was hilarious.
The curfew, because I keep hearing the curfew mentioned. What was the curfew for the vampires, and how did you? I mean, we obviously hear you do the telepathy call to Armand, but I'm just curious, who did you have to do that call with the most in your role?
It was definitely Gustav.
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean,
can
we
see
talked
it.
about it at the table about how he's cut out being a drunk. So yeah, it was definitely Gustav.
And the time? What was it? Was it midnight? Was it 3 o'clock? What was the time that they have to be back in the car?
I actually I don't think I had a proper time for this. I mean, it obviously changes because the
Yeah.
sun changing as well. So I would assume probably 4 a.m. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I'm sorry that's not a proper answer for you, but
No, I just was curious. I'm like, I know it has to be before. So I was just curious, and Gustav, that tracks. Yeah.
yeah.
I do have a question. This one is kind of a left turn because I'm always interested now what's next for you as an actor. So are you still doing stand up, or are you going to focus more on acting? And do you have anything lined up? What else can we look forward to seeing you in?
It's kind of taken a step back from stand-up comedy. I realized that I like writing and I like performing, and I don't have to do that on a stage by myself. I can do it with other people. So I'm gonna stick down the acting route. I just finished shooting a Netflix series in Budapest, and that will be out in the fall. I don't think I'm allowed to say what it is, so I'm not going to.
Okay.
But you will see me there.
Awesome.
Whatever it
Great. Well,
is.
that's exciting. That's exciting.
Cool. And and I'm just I'm really curious because I don't know how familiar these people that I've talked to are with the Anne Rice Immortal Universe fandom. So what has it been interesting to see all the fandom excitement around this show?
It has. Like, it's been one of the best things to have like an actual interaction with the fans, which has like been
Yeah.
incredible to like get to message back and forth and like comment on stuff and see the memes. Oh my God, the memes are killing me. Like the one, because I didn't answer this before, but like one of my favorite episodes was episode 6, focusing more on Madeline and Claudia's relationship and that whole montage of her going through her life. Like it broke me even more because of episode 7. But the meme of like the sun and someone holding a gun to it, I like died.
That's awesome. Well,
Funny.
thank you so much for for being a part of our roundtable. It's been really interesting talking to everybody about what the Coven life is like. Thank you so much. This has been really cool. And everybody who's watching, please tune in to Interview with the Vampire Season 2. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Bye.